Welcome back to my channel, the best place for hardworking millennials to learn more about career soft skills. Now, a lot of people change careers or change their jobs and end up being miserable all over again. And a major reason for that is because during that switch, they didn't actually cover all their bases. And what I want to talk about in this video is how a good career coach would help you cover all your bases so that you can actually find satisfaction in your career. In this video, I'm going to give you the 6 benefits of having a career coach and why one would benefit you a lot during your career change so that you can land your dream job. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so that you can receive regular updates from my channel that really help you in achieving career satisfaction. And if you haven't done so already, also make sure you click and join the Facebook group that I have called Career Soft Skills, where you can connect with other like-minded individuals who are interested in maximizing their career potential. Hi, I'm Dr. John Tam. I have a PhD in sociology from the University of Oxford, and I'm passionate about bringing the best out of people and building their soft skills so that they can flourish in what they do at work. Now, before we begin, I want to go through a definition of a career coach. And there's 2 things I want to specify. Number 1, a career coach is someone who will teach you and guide you. They're not the person who you can hire on Fiverr to write your resume, to write your cover letter, and so on, because that is a transaction, that's a deal. It's not a coach. And so a career coach is someone who will help you with guiding you through the process. The second thing I want to specify is that career coaches, like any other trade, have specializations. So some career coaches specialize in helping people prepare their resumes to go through the ATS, which is the robot that sorts out your resume, and also prepare you for a good cover letter. Other coaches prep you for interviews, and other coaches help you gain clarity. So for example, sometimes it's not a career change that you need, it's just that you've reached a dead end and you need to navigate that dead end. Or perhaps you keep falling into negative cycles and that you don't know how to say no, for example. And as a result, this career coach will teach you the different specific skills to say no so that you don't end up having the same problems over and over again. And this is about career clarity and soft skills. And so to be very specific, different career coaches have different specializations. And so finding one that fits your particular need is also very important. Because sometimes people who are going through a career change don't really need a career change. All they really need to do is tweak their soft skills a little bit or get some upskilling at some educational institution or some training center. And sometimes it's not even about going back to school, because oftentimes during a career change, a lot of people think, hey, if I go back to school and get my master's, I'm gonna be good. But what the data has really shown, that is oftentimes a waste of money. And so a career coach would be able to save you thousands of dollars from making these common mistakes. And without further ado, here are the 6 major benefits of having a career coach guide you in your career transition. The first benefit is that this career coach should have a proven system. And a proven system to help you gain clarity in knowing what you want. So one very good metaphor is people would not go on road trips without a destination in mind, right? Whenever you drive a car out, you would probably say, my goal is to go to get wings or to go to the gas station or to go somewhere, right? Same thing for a good career coach who will guide you in the process. They'll help you lay out the roadmap. They have a system that asks reflective questions. They have platforms for you to conduct research so that you can gain the clarity to say that, hey, this is what I want, these are the major bases that I need to have covered, and here's the timeline, here's an action plan, and this is how I'm going to execute it, right? A good coach would be able to give you these things so that you can decide, hey, this is what I want to do. The second major benefit of having a career coach guide your transition is that they have tools for assessments. And sure, you can get free stuff online, there's plenty of them, but there's 2 problems with that. Number 1, you don't know what's good. And number 2 is if it's free, it's probably not very good, right? And so that's one of the problems with going online and finding your own stuff. Having a career coach who have assortment of tools for these assessments is really important. So there's plenty of stuff out there like personality tests, and some common ones are MBTI, DISC, Enneagram, and the Big 5 Personality Traits Assessment. And if you've watched my previous videos, you know what I think about everything else, because Big Five is basically the gold standard that's used in all forms of psychometrically valid and reliable assessments. And you know, stuff like MBTI is made in the 1930s. I have no idea why people are still using it. Probably because that's what everyone knows about. And so that's the benefit of having a good career coach, is they know what's the best stuff out there. The third benefit of having a career coach is that they can be a non-judgmental confidant to guide you throughout this process and for you to bounce ideas off of. Sure, you can bounce ideas off of friends and people in your network and people in your family, but a career coach really is able to see many past cases and give you the red flags. Hey, this is what works before, this is what did not work before, and give you guidance in that regard. So a good career coach really helps you know that you have all your bases covered. In addition, career switches are complicated and there are different types of switches, and a good career coach would know about this. So for example, one type of switch would be a functional switch. So what a functional switch is, you're still in the same company but you simply switch the function. So for example, if you're in marketing, you want to switch to HR, it's easier to ask within your company because everyone knows you, internal referrals are all there, and that switch may be possible. It depends on your company culture. Not all companies can do that. Another type of switch would be an industry switch. So it could be, for example, you're switching from Apple and you are doing HR at Apple, but you want to switch to something like fitness, right? So you want to switch to a different industry and you apply to Lululemon and you still want to do HR at Lululemon, right? It's still HR stuff. It's a different industry and there are different considerations that you need to weigh, but it's basically the same function at a different industry. And so in that case, it's much more doable. The hardest hit are those who are doing a double switch. And a double switch is a change of both function and industry. And in that case, a career change is really rough and you really need specific guidance on how to navigate that change, because those kind of changes are always the toughest to convince the hirer to take a chance on you. And the last thing is sometimes you might not even need a change, like I mentioned earlier. Sometimes it's about just acquiring the soft skills so that you can do better in your job and to break out of negative cycles that keep coming up over and over again. Have you ever used a career coach before? If so, let me know in the comments how the result has been. And if you haven't, let me know in the comments why you haven't used one yet and how these ideas sound so far. The fourth important benefit of having a career coach is they offer a much wider perspective and they're able to see past cases of what's worked and what has not worked. And one thing is, the job industry is constantly changing. Back in the day, it was a different ballgame back then, because if you post a job online, less people would apply for it, and people who apply for it are probably selected to be probably more forward-thinking candidates. Nowadays, everyone applies online and it's fully saturated. So here's a statistic that I've mentioned in the past. 70% of the jobs are found through networks, referrals, internal resume databases, or other means. And pretty much when you apply online, you're competing against 100% of the talent pool for only a quarter of the job. So once again, these are important changes in the industry that a lot of people who, if you've been in a career for a while and you're making a switch, you wouldn't know about these things. And you'll start wondering, how come I'm not successful? It'll start eating away at your confidence. You'll start thinking like, I'm such a failure as a dad, I can't take care of my kids see me at home bombing all the time, and I'm not working, and it's awkward to see people because they'll ask what I'm doing and I really can't give them an answer because I'm unemployed. And these are all things that you'll potentially have spiral out of control if you don't work with someone who knows what's going on in the industry. The fifth benefit of having career coaches is that they're accessible to the little guys. And career coaches have been in the industry for a while, they've existed for a while now, but they're not always accessible to the common person. But the age of the internet has really allowed that to be a possibility. And so, for example, when a major company lays off a lot of people, they have outplacement services to help them land other jobs. But most of the companies out in the world are not major companies. A lot of them are not big corporations, and not all of them have this type of function. And so if you're not working in a big company that offers outplacement services, then pretty much you're gonna struggle to have a successful transition because there's really no one out there to help you, because less resourced companies simply don't have these things. Another major thing is that, yeah, sometimes you think I could go to a headhunter, but did you know that headhunters are mostly looking for senior exec jobs? That's where all the cash is, and that's where they want to pay the most attention to. So if you're not a big dog, if you're not higher up there, if you're not in the management, it's much harder for you to use the services of a headhunter because number one, they're getting paid based on a percentage of your salary, and if your salary isn't that high, then why would they spend that energy on landing you on a successful placement? In addition, there's major disruptions happening right now to the headhunting industry that is changing how they work. And so they're not the best solution as well. In addition, they don't put your interests first, they put their own interests first. It's not really about the perfect fit. It's about them cashing out their check and then they move on to the next candidate. And the sixth and final benefit that I have in this video for career coaches is that they can teach you the system so that you can use it over and over again. Yes, I know I literally just said that the industry is switching all the time, but learning the best practices can save you a lot of time. So for example, if you want to switch your career several times in the next few years, you know, it's possible because you learned the system, you learned the game, and you pretty much figured out how to do it. And so by learning how to create a strategic action plan on how to execute, writing that career statement, having a clear course of action, learning the networking tips, and also knowing the updated best practices for writing a resume, cover letter, interview, and so on, you basically acquire a set of skills that you can replicate over and over again. And also, these are valuable skills so that you can mentor other people and help other people as well. People will turn to you in the future and have a better understanding on how to do this process. And you can actually win a lot of favors by doing that as well. Another interesting thing is you can learn a lot of interesting skills throughout the job search process. So a good career coach that teaches you how to do an interview would be able to tell you, hey, what are the illegal questions? What are the questions that are out of bounds? And how do you even respond when someone asks you a question out of bounds, right? And sometimes it's an honest mistake, sometimes it's not so honest, but they will teach you how to deal with it. Another thing that they'll be able to teach you is how to answer career switch questions specifically. So if you're doing a career switch, like I said before, there's a functional and industry switch. If you're doing a double switch, they'll teach you how to answer the questions in the right way. In addition, some career coaches are even able to teach you how to ace personality tests, because personality tests honestly is a bane to many people's existence when they're doing a career switch, because it's just so scary and you feel like, you know, a lot of things are out of control. So good career coaches would be able to give you guidance on that process as well. So if you're ready to do a career switch, I would recommend you to do several things. Number one, I would say go download my PDF down below in the link. It teaches you how to find your ideal career through 4 simple steps. And the second thing I would say is go and take a personality test, and you can take a free one that is psychometrically valid that uses the big 5 personality traits down in the link below, and that will give you a good outline of what your personality is like and what job is a good fit for you. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you join my Facebook group, Career Soft Skills, so that you can network with like-minded individuals who are interested in advancing their career. Click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you can receive regular updates when my next video comes out. That will help you in your career. And of course, if you like the video, hit that thumbs up and leave a comment below on what you found to be the most valuable. And of course, share with your family and friends if you really enjoyed it a lot. So see you in the next video.